Bear attack! Roar! Oh, I messed it up. Okay. Alright, hi guys, we're going to be doing a review now for the previous Assassin's Creeds and a hopeful outlook on Assassin's Creed 4. This is my sister joining me. She's never played them, but
I know about them though.
But she's very knowledgeable, and I'm going to be dressed as a bear for this review.
Because he doesn't love bears.
Okay, that and because my hair was disappearing into the background and it was like, I have a head only. So, anyways, I have to start out this with a warning that I've actually never played the first one. I went to get involved with it because everyone was like, oh my gosh, you have to play this. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to play that. And so I went and I bought it and I said, hey, give me the first one because I don't know anything about this. And so they gave me Assassin's Creed 2 because that makes so much sense. And I bought it because that makes so much sense that the second one would be the first one. But so I started playing it, and I've only ever played, I only ever had played as Ezio. Love him, absolutely love him to death. And then in Assassin's Creed 3, you know, how we get to play as Haytham and as Connor. And play as Connor. What was his name?
I hated him.
He's just
the main character.
I really hated him.
Yeah, he had a tad bit of a chip on his shoulder.
Oh, he was just like, I'm angry at the world.
Well, they were trying to make it diverse, because you first had Altair, who had very little character development or personality, but he was still very awesome. He's my favorite. And then you had Ezio, who's flamboyant and out there. And
playboy.
Yes, very much. And then you had Connor. He was just kind of a chip on his shoulder.
He was kind of emo.
He was a very unhappy individual.
He's like Indian emo.
Well, we're not hating on him. It's just he's not our favorite.
Not that I have a problem with Indians because I'm part Indian, but we might hate a little bit on emos. It's like, wow, I'm so depressed. My life sucks.
Just so we understand why he has a chip on his shoulder, because his dad sucked. I didn't like his dad.
Get
his
over
mom
it.
was awesome though.
Get over it. Okay, so how do you want to do this? Do you want to do the one coming out, or do you want to do
you just want to go through them all in order and then give our hopes on what we would like to see in the next one?
Yeah, let's do a quick thing on the previous ones. All right, so the first one, like I said, I didn't play it, but I did a lot of catching up on what happens. What
I know much about it, and it's probably the best one because from what I've seen, the plot gets more complicated but doesn't necessarily get better. And I like the first one because it's all about the creed and the honor and trying to be this great assassin, which doesn't necessarily happen in the second one because Ezio doesn't follow the creed and the rules.
Well, that's because he's just kind of like thrown into it, like, hey, you're an assassin because your whole family died.
Yeah, but still, he could still follow it.
Hey, I don't think he had anyone to teach him though, because Altair was living with all the assassins, so he, you know, his life was the creed, unlike Ezio, and I would sort of say a little bit unlike, who's the no, not the main guy. Desmond. I mean, Desmond grows up as an assassin, but it almost seems like he doesn't really know anything about the creed. He doesn't really care either.
Yeah, I didn't really like him because he doesn't really fit with the rest of them.
He's just whined and complained the entire time, just like.
You didn't get much play with him either, too.
No.
Just
no.
We're kind
but
of
I liked that whenever you left, what was it called? It wasn't Abstergo. You left the Animus, and you played as Desmond. You didn't get like the control help. You know, it was just like, oh crap, I gotta remember how to Z attack, Z target, whatever. You know, I have to remember how to do it. Do the combinations and whatnot, and that's cool. I like that because that's like more realistic. It's like No one's gonna really hold your hand through this.
One thing that wasn't cool was the change in attacks and abilities that you had, and it's just changing from game to game. That was not cool.
Oh, okay. So yeah, let's do characters. You love Altair.
Altair he's close to my heart because at first he's kind of a prick, and then he grows and develops and he becomes this honorable person, but it's not without much sacrifice. It's not without much sacrifice. He loses like the one person he loves, and then
Who's that?
there's that one Templar girl. I don't remember her name because I don't really care.
But she has the baby.
But anyway, he loses her because he abuses the power of the apple, and it kills her. And then he has to keep watch over this apple for the rest of his life.
And then he dies.
Yeah, he dies with it in his hand. From old age. I would have expected him to develop, though, differently. Preferably in, like, a blaze of glory.
Yeah, I don't like the way Ezio dies.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a heart attack. Ta-da.
So dramatic.
Okay,
I would have thought he would have died from an STD.
Okay, so Altair, I like that he had a lot of very much in touch with the creed and whatnot, and like the ancient ways. You know, that's a really cool time period as well. And I love that Assassin's Creed, you know, they play with history, which is really cool for people who don't know too much about history like myself, because although I don't know so much, I'm definitely willing to learn. So moving on to Ezio. Love Ezio. What?
One fun fact about Assassin's Creed 1 is that there's one river, and if you fall in it, you die because he doesn't know how to swim.
It's because he doesn't have his one finger.
What does your one finger have to do with swimming?
Buoyancy. Okay, moving on to Ezio. Love Ezio. He had just so much character, like, you know,
A
that.
little too much, though.
No, there's nothing wrong with character.
It's just like too much. Boom! I'm here. Look at me.
That's great, though.
That's because you like that kind of person.
No, I like character, and I like that you also get character development. That's a really important thing, is to have your characters develop. I mean, people aren't going to invest their time into a character unless you actually can relate and you know, you can develop with the character. You can lose your family with them, and you can fall in love with that one woman that owns the land or whatever.
Character.
Yeah, I mean, you can actually like become a part of the character. Like, who didn't play it and like later on was driving by or walking by some building, you're like, oh, I could climb that. I mean, Ezio could climb that. I could climb that.
You can't really climb it to try.
Maybe. If I had that cool glove.
But you don't have any upper body strength. You
Okay.
just fall.
Probably.
But you wouldn't fall like the assassins. You wouldn't land on something from like a gazillion feet up and survive.
Hey, Bill. Okay. So yeah, I liked Ezio. Probably the Brotherhood, I think. Yeah, the Brotherhood. That was definitely my favorite one. Great storyline, such a great story. I love the character development. I love you get to see, like, you eventually get a, like, I'm not sure which one it is. I think it's the second one in the Ezio trilogy that you get to relive his memories of that woman that he loved. That's great, you know, like I said, there was so much character and depth in Ezio, and I think that's why he was a fan favorite, is because if you were a guy, you wanted to be him. If you were a woman, you kind of wanted to be with him.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, oh, I bet you'd be fun.
I liked all the armor changes too that he came with.
Yeah, and his armor was great. It looked good. It had, you know, it was very pizzazz.
He had swagger.
And sure, and there was all that stuff, you know. And the fighting. Okay, this is really important. The maps and the way that the fighting worked. As Ezio, my hair is screaming. As Ezio, the fighting, the fighting seemed a lot more, seemed easy. Well, not easier, but it was
More
eventually, yeah, it fluid, and once you had the controls down, you were good. You know, once you had the controls, it's as long as it didn't change, you were good, right? And then eventually, I think in the third one of the Ezio series, some of the controls changed. Then you had to add the bombs, but I kind of like the bombs because there's an actual truth to the bomb making, and there's a truth throughout the entire thing. There's a truth to the history, and I mean I thought that was cool. Science. Love
Science is
science.
fun.
Science is cool. I like science.
Bill
It
Nye,
makes
science
me
guy.
happy. It makes me happy.
Except
Gravity's not so great.
gravity hurts.
Okay. So I didn't like that all of a sudden, eventually, our controls were changing. The fighting had changed. Because I had gotten really used to that. And each time I went to do something, like I think I went to go pick something up or something, I accidentally attacked somebody. It's like, oh crap, like why did they change that? I think I would love for them to stick to the controls, the way that we had gotten used to them. I thought the map in the third one, um, Revelations, was really hard for me to see.
You couldn't zoom.
I don't know if you could zoom. Yeah, I think you could zoom, but it was just because everything was so dark. It was so dark. Getting into the Assassin's Creed 3, if everything that was so dark in Revelations was way too bright in the Assassin's Creed 3, the map sucked. Oh my god, I hated the map. Hated the map. Every time you went to move around because you had learned the controls from the previous ones, that was exactly not the right thing to do with the controls in Assassin's Creed 3. I hated the map so much. I didn't even care to learn how the trading worked. I don't think I bought anything ever. I stole a sword off of some commander person that I killed, and that was awesome because I couldn't kill anything before then. So the sword made me really happy. I hope we get dual swords in the next one, in the Assassin's Creed 4, because I don't care about the guns. The guns piss me off. Because then you have to sit there and you have to freaking charge it again, and loading. I hate loading. So
you might get the curved ones, and those are the dual ones. Dual wheels.
I want dual swords. That makes me happy. Or a sword, and then I also get my little dagger thing.
You definitely get a dagger.
But
you always got that hidden dagger.
Yeah, I like that. I like the dual blades. That makes me very happy. I hated the guns. I don't know about you guys, but I hated the guns. Let's just jump into the third one. I didn't care for the political undertones with, what was it? That they were trying to do what they did with Ezio, to do with Connor, as far as Washington's, what was it called? Washington's what?
I don't remember.
The next one that was supposed to come after the third one.
It's
about Washington the King or something. Like that didn't even happen. They actually offered Washington.
He turned it down.
Yeah, the kingship.
He didn't want it.
He didn't want it. They didn't even get paid to be these political figures. They did it because they volunteered, because they're good guys. And to lie about history, and to Washington as a king, that is so far from history, and that's really not what we need right now in our country. Is this bad image of our forefathers? That's just, it's a lie, and it's not good. It's not good for American citizens or children. It's not good for children to see that and be like, "Ooh, that's reality," because no, it's not. No one's gonna take me serious with this thing on, but
that's fine.
But the Revolution one, that's great. I didn't care for Connor.
Didn't enjoy playing as his father.
well, yeah, his father's just like this like stuck guy, right? Didn't like him. You could see him, you could see the plot twist there, because you're like, wait a second, I thought I was gonna play as this kid, this kid who's an Indian who lost his family, blah blah blah, and then you're playing as this older dude, and you're like, something's gonna happen here where I'm gonna switch over,
Running
and then
through
it
the
was
snow is
like,
fun.
and then spoiler alert, he turns out to be his dad, who is a Templar. Ooh, who didn't see that coming?
Scary.
Stuff.
Stuff.
Okay. Didn't like Connor. He's so boring.
I liked his changes though. Changes he went through.
He went through changes?
Yeah.
There was something to change? Yeah. He was really boring.
I just didn't enjoy him
he's
altogether.
Like, I don't like my life, blah, blah, blah. My
I
life's
liked
so
his
hard.
tomahawk though. That was fun.
I didn't really care for the tomahawk. I didn't care for that like needle thing that I would shoot out and like like jump down, like I don't know, you wrap around like their necks and you jump down off the tree branch and like haha I hung you, but this weapon really actually sucks. So does all the other weapons, because this one sucks. So essentially the third one sucked.
Was not a favorite of ours.
The map made me so angry, and the fighting, like I hated the life. I hated that you couldn't take potions or whatever. You couldn't take any you couldn't heal yourself through eating or anything. I hated that. I hated that I had to wait for my life to regenerate when I was like, hey, I'm gonna just throw myself into the thick of this and find my way out like I would have with Ezio. Can't do that.
No.
I hated that. Did Hate Them even die?
I don't know.
What happened to Hate Them? You guys tell us, because I don't remember. I don't even remember if Hate Them died.
We don't care about this game.
Don't really even care about the third one, but the ending was kind of like pretty lame because oh, I killed that guy that was best buddies with my dad, who attacked my parents in my village and burned down my village and blah 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 blah. The end. So yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't care for the ending with Desmond. He died.
That ending was so weird.
So weird. So random.
I thought the plot was gonna go so completely different with the apple. Like I didn't expect that.
And the whole aliens thing, I don't get it.
Yeah, it's just like
I would love to give you guys a really good guess of what's to come with the aliens. I don't have a clue. As a writer, I'm normally pretty good at guessing these things, but with the aliens, like that's just so out there. I don't have a clue. I'm sorry.
I'm guessing the leader they were trying to keep captive somehow ends up coming back, and then your next person has to fight him. Just a guess to throw out there.
I don't know, but let's talk about the third one. Or the fourth one. The Pirates. It's supposed to take place during the golden age of piracy, during the late 1600s, early 1700s. I'm going to bet I think they gave an exact date, but I can't remember. Sorry. I'm going to say it's going to be with the late or the early 1700s, because Hate Them was probably born around 1730-ish, which means that at some point his father, Edward, had to bounce a bow wow, find some pretty girl somewhere along the Caribbean.
Spelled it weird.
And so there's a possible they really want to fall back on the character that they had with Ezio, but I mean not a complete Ezio, because everyone loved Ezio, but we don't want to see another regeneration of Ezio. So we're going to see a lot of that flamboyancy and
not following the creed, because he's going to be a pirate.
There might be a creed.
No, he can't follow the Assassin's Creed if he's going to be a pirate.
Why not?
It just doesn't match up.
So too.
Says the creed. It has specific rules that you clearly cannot follow.
I don't think anywhere in the creed just says may not be a pirate.
No, it says what pirates do. What pirates do is not in the creed. It's against it. He's gonna be like a playboy, just like Ezio.
He's gonna be a playboy, and he's blonde.
Change.
change. Let's see.
I'm expecting a lot of drunken brawls with pirates on a boat.
I like that we are going to be running around in the forest. That's kind of cool. That we'll be doing a lot of like running along the canopy, running along in the trees. That's kind of cool. That we can like sneak down on others. So I'm hoping that they're going to take the best part of running in the trees and bring that into the fourth one. But we will also be running on top of buildings again. Yay! Because who didn't miss running on top of the buildings? Because there was like no buildings at that time. Period. But because we won't be in the new world so much, there will be more civilizations with buildings for us to run on top of.
I hope there's a kraken in this one. That'd be amazing.
The kraken?
Kraken.
Release the kraken.
Swallows it up.
So we will have that. We will hopefully have double swords. I think I saw double swords. We'll have guns, but I don't really care for the guns. As long as the firing and the loading time, charging time doesn't take as long as it did in the third one, because that really sucked. I really want the double swords. We will have more of the ships, because I know all the guys specifically loved all the ship playing. I kind of hope that'll be easier, because I wasn't so great at the naval attacking. Because I'd finally get around. It's like, oh, I didn't even know that I could change what I was shooting. That I could, instead of shooting these balls, I could shoot like the chain ones and take down the mast. I didn't even know that until like towards the end. Shut up. We were gonna have more of that. So hopefully that was already amazing as far as the development for that. As far as all naval games go, that was a really big thing, and it was very forward. So maybe they'll make that even better. Easier for those of us who weren't that great at it. Shut up. And what else?
I wonder if they're gonna bring back Desmond, because he sacrificed himself. So
I don't think we're gonna see Desmond. As far as like the main story, it says that our character is gonna be hired by Abstergo. So that means a lot of things. I mean, I wonder, are we gonna be able to create our own characters, kind of like how you can create your characters in World of Warcraft or whatever? You can choose, what race you are. You can choose all certain different things. I would love to play as a woman.
I don't think that's gonna happen, because they already showed a picture of him.
Of the main guy?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, maybe. No, the pirate. Yeah, but I mean that's the memory.
No, I think it's
No.
The blonde pirate guy on the
Yeah,
boat.
that's who you go back in the memory. The main character, like.
Oh, do you mean the guy from the present?
Yeah. So I'm thinking that that'd be really cool if we could choose what.
We can't play girl.
Shut up. If you could choose your character and build your character, that'd be really cool, because I personally would like to play as a woman. In fact, hello, Assassin's Creed people, I really want to play as a female assassin. That would be great. I know we had the Liberation one, but I don't want to get that little game. No. Like, if you had made that so I could play it on my Wii, or on my PlayStation, or on Xbox, or whatever, that'd be cool, but I don't want to play it on that little thing. That's
no.
So I want to play as a woman assassin. That would be awesome. In fact, I think a female assassin during the what is it? It's English in England during like the late 1800s. You could do like a steampunk kind of thing.
Oh, steampunk.
That would be amazing as a female assassin. That would be awesome. That would be amazing, period, as any kind of assassin. But that time period in like England or whatever, that would be really cool. Just throwing that out there. So if we are playing a character hired by Abstergo, does that mean that we are going to be playing as Templar? Because isn't that who Abstergo is run by, the Templars?
Or Templar lackey, which is just as bad.
So there's a question. So what does that mean? Are we going to be playing as a Templar? Are the Templars going to be trying to sneak into Desmond's ancestry? Because apparently his history has now been uploaded on the cloud. which is that like the same thing as your iPod cloud?
Yes.
You know, like you're listening to your iPod, and all of a sudden I'm gonna go.
His ancestry is in there. You just gotta look for it.
And all of a sudden I'm listening to Imagine Dragons, and then like, then I'm Ezio, and I'm like, yeah, boom, 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 climbing buildings. So I don't know what the cloud is. That's really funny that they named it that. If we can access it, does that mean that his father can too? Because that would make more sense that I was going to predict that we would be playing as his father, because obviously his father is going to share his history and his ancestors, so he would go back even further. That made sense to me, but we're going to be playing as this new person hired by Abstergo. So I don't know what that means. What do you guys think that means? What do you want to see in Assassin's Creed 4? What's your absolute most favorite thing that you're looking for? What do you hope that they bring over from the old Assassin's Creed?
Who's your favorite assassin?
Who's your favorite assassin?
Altair.
And what did you think of the other Assassin's Creeds? And what was your least favorite thing about them? Also, what would you rate the Assassin's Creed 3? I wouldn't give it that great because it's just, in comparison to the old ones, so lacking.
What do you think is going to happen with the aliens?
What do you think is going to happen? Oh my gosh, what do you think is going to happen with the aliens? So this is what we have to look forward to. It's supposed to come out on August 31st, Halloween. Beware. And yeah, so tell us what you would rate the third one. What are you looking forward to the most? Who's your favorite assassin? And anything else you want to mention? Just comment down below. And bear attack. And let us know what you want to see, what you want to hear, and what you're looking most forward to, and all that other stuff. Anything you want to mention, just mention. Okay, comment down below, and we love you, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye. Bear attack.